Hello, welcome to Sabretooth at Nethemba, where we care about your security. I've opened up a 10-minute mail instance for a temporary email address. If you've wanted to get started with TryHackMe or HackTheBox and have not yet done so, and you're wondering how, this is going to go into how to do that, how to register, how to download the VPN files and connect to their networks, the differences between the free tiers and the VIP tiers, which are paid. As well as that, we're going to look into, I'm not too sure, we'll see. So I've not really done Hack the Box at all yet on the channel. I shall be doing. I'm planning on scheduling my videos so that every Tuesday at 10 AM GMT, there's a Try Hack Me video, and every Friday at 10 AM GMT, there's a Hack the Box video. So we're going to sign up. Just temporarily. I will delete the accounts afterwards. Sabretooth at Nethemba 2025. How's that? The email address, I don't want to use my actual email, so I'm just going to use this for now. I will delete the account. Okay. Video. How's that? SAN 2025 video. Okay. And the password. Oh, I hate these. Has anybody else had it so that they're able to get this first time? Because I guarantee it won't. And then you do stirs, and there's not many with stirs, just those. Maybe that one. And it still won't. And then it goes to this type, and then suddenly... Right. There is a add-on called Buster. Definitely get that, because you can bypass Google reCAPTCHA. You can sign up with Google as well, by the way. Yes, definitely look into the Buster add-on. We're going to save this as well. So when you first sign up to TryHackMe, you're asked your experience. And so most people will be doing, I am a student, or I have another career. What is your goal? Just exploring. How familiar are you with the basics of web networking, Linux and Windows? I know the basics, or I don't know the basics. So it takes you right from scratch. How did you hear about me? Come on. It's not that complicated. Surely not. Our internet's up, isn't it? It is, but I've only got 34%. Maybe I should move to my other network. Now nothing's working. Brilliant. There we go. I've used it before. Nice. So it automatically sets you up to go on to the, if depending on the options you take, it gives you a recommended path. And here it says pre-security. Before hacking something, you first need to understand the basics. You can look at the path and it shows you exactly what there is here. An offensive security intro, defensive security intro, what is networking, LAN, the OSI model, packets, frames, extending your network, DNS, HTTP, websites, Linux fundamentals. So this is how to use your terminal, Linux commands and so on. And then the same with Windows as well. You can do this from Windows. I recommend using Linux, however, because especially if you use a distribution like Kali Linux or Parrot Linux, most of the tools you'll need are installed. I use Linux Mint and I've set it up myself. I'm not going to go into how to install Linux in this video because there are plenty and plenty of guides for that. And this also, excuse me, works on Linux and Mac as well, and Windows, so it may not be needed. And you go to start learning and it sets you onto the, auto joins you into this path. And there you go, you can just go through them one step at a time. But that is not what, oh. Let us see if we have email from, we don't have email from TryHackMe. I thought we would, because it should ask about, let's refresh. It should ask about account verification. I guess not. Huh, how strange. But in your settings up here, you will have to verify your email address. when making changes, and so on and so forth. Password and security strongly suggests setting up two-factor authentication, and then you can subscribe. Pathways, attack box, right? So we will look into subscription in a moment. We'll look into subscription in a moment. So if you go to your dashboard, there we go. Please verify your email address. Fantastic. So we'll do that just because it's nice to be verified. So that should come through any second, we would hope. I'm not sure how often this site pulls for emails, or whether you need to refresh. I don't know. I'm not sure. It may have even changed my email address. I don't know. Whatever. Not important right now. Monthly prices go up. Okay, fine. Don't worry about that. So you can go on the dashboard and it'll say complete your first room. You're enrolled in a path, and you've got this to-do list here, which is quite nice, and you're able to do whatever. But what you can do is just avoid that and go straight into what we normally do as well. The dark mode is important. There we go. The thing that is important really is being able to connect to the system. And although you can go into access and figure it out here, what you can also do is go into learn. Still no email. Or learn or challenges. So if you go into learn, you have premium roadmap for those who have signed up for VIP, and then a free one for people who just want all the free rooms. And there's plenty to do, as you can see. Absolutely. So what was I about to say? Challenges, and if you look up OpenVPN, you'll see immediately. Not immediately. Evidently not. It's not under challenges. What's it under? Search. There's an OpenVPN room. Now this is part of the beginner's path, but you can do this one and it will talk you through getting connected to the TryHackMe network. So we'll join the room. And it tells you how to do it. Download your configuration file from the access page. And once you've done that, you can hit complete. We'll try it. Actually, we'll do this now, because why not? Where's the access page? Here we are. Let's open this in a new tab. No point in me just telling you when I could show you. So there are two ways to connect to the network. You can either do it through OpenVPN or you can do it through the attack box. Now the attack box is free for up to an hour a day, but if you subscribe for premium, then you can use it as much as you want. And what the attack box does, it loads in the side of your browser, as you'll see in a second, in theory. Oh my god. Yep, we know this. Go away. Okay, so there's a tutorial room as well. I'm not too bothered about doing a tutorial room, quite honestly. Even though this is a tutorial video. So I'm not sure if I can use the attack box straight off or if I need to finish this room first. Yeah, this is how it's used and so on. I need to join the tutorial room. And what happens, this loads in the side of your browser. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll move to my other instance. And I'll go to access. And I'll see if I can join the... See if we can do the attack box here. No, it still sends me to the tutorial. You need to be in a box. Okay, we'll go to the dashboard. We'll go to recent. You'll see that I've already looked through this OpenVPN, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. And again. Okay, so I'll take a look at opacity, which I've already routed. And what I can do is join the room or start the machine or something like this. And then you can start attack box. This is where you do it once you've joined the room, and it will appear in the right side of your screen, in theory. There we go. So now you don't need to use the terminal to do anything. You can do it all in your browser by using this Linux system, Parrot Linux, which is installed here. I think it's Parrot Linux. It might not be. I don't think it's Kali Linux. Anyway, I'll let that load in. The other way of doing this is the way that we generally do it on this channel is use OpenVPN. Now, what happens is when you're doing machines, you can choose EU or US. Now, if you were signed up VIP, you could choose a VIP one. You just take that, you can regenerate. I like to regenerate, and then you download the config file, and you can save that to your system. And I will show you using my main account in a minute how to use that. But you've seen me do it many a time anyway. How's this going? Machines initializing. The HackTheBox takes a long time to start. Personally, I don't use it. I find it awkward. Some people really like it. He's taken screen space away as well, but at least you can look at this and this at the same time and paste between it, which is quite nice, I suppose, because you can still go onto different web addresses and so on. So this is it. You see, we're actually in a Linux system in the browser, which is incredible. And you've got Metasploit, and you've got Firefox, and there's Burp Suite somewhere, and everything, to be fair, be up here. So this is all set up like a regular Linux system. So you've got like KeePass, LibreOffice, and your drawing, Firefox, and things like this. Kali Linux, which is the pen testing distro. I suppose Parrot Linux is as well, but it has more tools similar to these. Map, the Metasploit, it's all set up for you, you see. And I've got 2 hours before that expires. Okay, and then you can terminate it this way. So that's one way of interacting with the systems. Terminate that system. I'll actually leave the room as well because I'm done in here. The other way of connecting is once you've downloaded that file, the OpenVPN file, you can sudo openvpn. I'll show you this now actually. That'll be the file I downloaded. I'm not running it yet. If I go to 10, oh, it shows that I'm connected because I was connected via the HackTheBox, so that doesn't even work now. Okay, no matter. Okay, not a problem. If I check my IP addresses here, ifconfig, I have my local IP, I have my local host IP, and I've not got a clue what my Docker one is, to be honest, but I don't really care. And once I connect to this using OpenVPN, you'll find that there's now a new IP on the system, this tunnel into TryHackMe's network. And once again, it shows you the IP address and so forth. There are beginner rooms to get you started. That OpenVPN room is one of them. This one. So the OpenVPN room, what I will do here is download your configuration file and then connecting with Windows. Shows you how to do that step by step. Just follow the steps, it's not too complicated. Same with Mac, same with Linux. So you got step by step all the way through. Connecting with Linux will probably go through what I've just gone through, how to install OpenVPN and then running OpenVPN, and that's it. And then how to use TryHackMe without a VPN, that's using the HackTheBox here, see? And you can finish this room off, check you're connected, and so on. So you can start the machine and then go to the website. But we already know that the flag is connection verified, right? We already figured that out in our other instance. Okay. So the only other thing we've not really covered on TryHackMe is the difference between, or the cost to go premium. So it's saying that prices go up soon, so this is actually the cheap option. £9 per month works out if you pay in advance. So you save £36 by doing it yearly. If you are going to, it's going to be about £100 to sign up to TryHackMe, and it's going to be about £100 to sign up to HackTheBox. This is for a year, or you can pay it per month. If you can afford it, do both. If you had to pick one, do TryHackMe, because that is for beginners, and there's more rooms here which are better suited to starters. Now, having said that, let's talk about HackTheBox as well. Let's talk about HackTheBox as well, just so you can see what this is about. Okay, we're going to HackTheBox.com, get started. There are a few parts to HackTheBox. The main one is the boxes, but there's also the Academy, which is good for learning, but that is a separate subdomain, so it has a separate subscription. Having premium on HackTheBox does not give you access to Academy. Having premium on Academy, I don't think gives access to HackTheBox. I may be wrong on that one, but let's find out. So let's give us 10 more minutes just to be sure. We will copy the email address, password, and I'll show you how it works on this. It's very similar to HackTheBox. Sorry, very similar to TryHackMe, but I really do think that I think HackTheBox is better in many ways, but it's a lot harder, not beginner suited. Username, what did we do last time? Sabretooth at Nethemba 2025 video, we'll do that. That's close enough. Full name, country, Angola, why not? What if I'm like Prince and only have one name? Okay, so we have the email through. Verify email address. Whereas if we'd have done TryHackMe, that doesn't send you an email unless you verify your email address. Whereas here, it does it by default. Doesn't let you in. So why have you joined? And this is very similar to the onboarding process. Now you can answer all this, or you can just skip the whole onboarding. Which field do you study in? Other. What best describes your role? Who cares? What do you wish to learn? Are you open to job opportunities? Oh yeah, that's the thing. So when you're here, you can go start learning to go to the Academy, which is what I was just talking about. And in the Academy, it does share the account. You can purchase cubes, which is the currency for accessing the courses. I think you can also do a subscription as well, but don't quote me on that one because I'm not too sure. And you can see that the Academy structure, you can just mark it and complete, and you can earn cubes as well as buy cubes, I think, and so on. But the Academy is really great for learning, obviously. That's the idea. Yeah, absolutely. So module sections, exercises. So we're not going to deal with the Academy today. We are dealing with practice with hands-on labs, and this is very similar to what's happening with TryHackMe. So we'll close this, and we're going to work in the labs section. Now, as a free user, you have access to the starting point, which is which is quite nice, especially obviously if you are a beginner, because it gives you boxes which it shows you how to connect via OpenVPN or the pawn box, which is, sorry, pawn box. Okay. Whatever. So that's similar to the tap box. I'm just going to call it the tap box to avoid that happening again. But OpenVPN is the way I generally go. You can spawn your first machine, and then it asks you some questions, and so on and so forth. And then you can go into the next box, and the next box, and the next box, and so on. And then you go on to the next tier. Now, very important, if you are a free user, other than the starting point, you only have access to, how do I get rid of this tutorial? As a free user, you only have access to the starting point and active machines. Oh, you got some challenges as well, and active Sherlocks. I'll explain Sherlocks in a minute. I'll explain Sherlocks now. Machines are things you can hack into. Sherlocks is the other side of it. Something's been hacked into, and you've got to go through all the forensics and figure out how it was done. So it's quite useful if you're going into the defense side of it. So if you go to machines, as a free user, you only have access to active machines, and there are only ever 20, as you can see, at once, and that's it. 20 systems that you can hack into. Now, if you look at scheduled box releases here, the oldest system of these 20, Infiltrator, will be retired in 4 days, and it'll be replaced with Sorcery. And it's always the case that the oldest system gets taken out and a new one gets rotated in every couple of weeks. So you've always got 20 systems which are forever cycling into new ones, right? They never repeat. Retired machines are all these systems that have been cycled out. And it's every system that's ever been released on HackTheBox. There's 29 pages of these, about 20 per page. Figure it out, you're on about 600 different boxes here, right? The thing is, you have to be a VIP member, unless it's free. It says free. You have to be a VIP member to access these. For example, Big Bang here. Upgrade to play this machine, right? So let's take a look. Firstly at the upgrade options, then we're going to look at how to connect. Upgrade on HackTheBox is quite expensive. As much as you're saving 20% going yearly, in the UK 20% tax is added on, so it's roughly the same. So it works out about £100-ish per year for VIP, and it's about £150 for VIP Plus. The difference is, okay, let me get this right. On TryHackMe, when you access a system and start up a system, you're given an IP address, and that is yours only. No other user is on that system. On HackTheBox, there are people sharing a system, so people can be resetting other people's progress or getting in each other's way or something like that, and it gets quite annoying, but also it's quite fun, really. You know, there could be more than one person on a system doing something. It gets quite frustrating if you're resetting each other's progress. So if you upgrade to VIP, you have more servers, meaning that 50 servers, meaning that it's spread out. Let's take a look at the here. So there are 8 servers on the free tier. Now imagine 80 people. Scratch that. Imagine 800 people, and these are evenly distributed between 8 servers. That means that there's 100 people on your server that might be hacking into the same box as you or a different box as you, but whatever. But there's going to be some collision somewhere. With VIP, there are, how many servers here? 50, more than 50 servers. So you can see how it works, that if you have 80, how's my maths? What do you reckon? How's my maths? I can't remember the number I said. If I knew the number, I'd do the maths. Doesn't matter. Whatever. I can't remember what number I said, so I can't do the math. So let's just round it to 100 or whatever it was. So if there's 100 people and there's 50 servers, there could only be like 2 people on your server. And if you're both working on different boxes, you've practically got a box to yourself. Now, the VIP Plus has all this, whatever the VIP offers, access to all the retired systems, etc. But the VIP Plus gives you personal machine instances. So what TryHackMe does for free, HackTheBox charges you for. And you can get your own IP address to be hacking into, nobody else has access, etc. I've gone for VIP because I think VIP Plus is a little bit ridiculous. So I'm going to connect, but I'm not going to do it here. I'll delete these accounts eventually. I'm going to do it on my main system because I've not yet looked at HackTheBox. So I've signed up, sabretooth and Nethemba, and you can see my star. I am VIP. And due to that, I have access to all the retired machines and so on. What I'm going to do, by the way, when I go through TryHackMe on a Tuesday, I'm just going to pick random boxes as recommended. When it comes to HackTheBox, I've got this sorted by release date. So I'm going to start with the very, very first box released on the site and work my way through. And the good thing about this is that, it starts off easy, medium, easy, medium, medium, and then suddenly you've got like easy, medium, insane, medium. Still not come across as hard. And these difficulties are going to be mixed bag because it's just in the order of release. It's not in order of difficulty. I could do it in order of difficulty, but it means that all the easy boxes come first or all the hard boxes come first. It makes sense just to do it this way. So I'm going to connect to HTB. I can use the attack, whatever it is, system, the pwn box. You need a specific open VPN file to access that starting point network and a specific open VPN file to access the main network. I'm going to use the main network. So I don't want to use the box. I'm going to go open VPN, and you see EU VIP is what I'm on because I have access to that. I've got US and Australia and Singapore. So EU is closest to me, UK. And if I look through the servers, you can see this one's got 20, 22, 15, 11 on this one, 10 on this one. Oops. You can see how many users there are, right? If I go onto the free one, you'll see how many people are sharing the server. 148, 102, 107. There's only 3 servers there, that's it. And then there's a few more for US and there's a few more for Singapore, etc. So EU VIP. And I'll choose one with fewer people in it, so there's going to be less chance of collision. Quite a few have got 9, 8, 6. One there was 6. So I'll choose that. Server switched. And then you can do this through UDP or TCP. It doesn't matter which way you do it, really. So download the VPN. So what I'm going to do, that's my TryHackMe one. I'm literally just going to call this HTB for HackTheBox. And that really should be it. That really should be it. The starting point goes through all your basic Linux commands and how to connect and so on and so forth. So if you look at this, it shows I'm offline, I'm not connected. So I will kill the TryHackMe one. It doesn't matter if they're both running at the same time, but there's no need to have them running. You're not going to be doing a box on each system at once. Sudo open VPN HTB. Put my password. This now should change. So it's got 2 connections, one to the machines and one to this seasonal machine here. Okay. It's got an introduction to lab access if you need help setting up OpenVPN and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to do a system here, but I'm going to go. I've had trouble because I did try this out the other day. Not the box, but just the OpenVPN setup and this particular system was having trouble. So we'll see if it is better this time. It might be, it might not be. Sometimes there's just an issue with system starting up. TryHackMe doesn't seem to have that many problems. HackTheBox has a few more problems, but not many. I'm not sure if this system is fixed yet. We shall certainly see. And if not, we'll just look at another one. Because I don't know how long it's going to take, you see. So you can start a system, you can stop a system, and then you can revert a system. So the difference is, in TryHackMe, if you start a system, you'll generate a new IP address for that system. And when you stop it, that IP address is then gone. And when you start it again, you get a different IP address. It's a different instance each time. For HackTheBox, the instance is always the same. So someone might have hacked into something and then left it, and you come along later and you'll be able to find, oh, it's working now. And you'll be able to find, their files and everything. So in that case, whenever you start a system, you should always revert this. So it resets it back to default state. Machine is being reset. So the players are voting now, because if somebody is working on this system and you're about to reset their progress, they can vote no. If nobody is on this system, on this particular server, VIP 22 is it, then no one's going to vote no, and the system will be reset. So it's good. You can't really just wipe out somebody else's work if they're on it. The courteous thing to do is, if you revert something and somebody else is working on it, just try a different box and come back to it another time. So I've now reset that to default, back to default state. So anything a previous user has done on there is now gone. If they've broken something, it's now fixed. If they decided to be really nasty and delete all the system files and delete the root.txt files and that, they've all been restored. Okay, so although it's now regenerating it, you'll see the IP address will be the same, 10.10.10.3. That is the address of this system always. So it's now restarting. Personally, I prefer to revert a system when I'm finished, just so the next person has a fresh slate. But also I prefer to revert a system when I'm starting, just in case somebody else hasn't done the same for me. You'll see that, and I prefer this to TryHackMe, by the way, whereas TryHackMe gives you a list of questions where you're like, oh, that spoiled that, it only gives you the first question, and once you've answered it, it then unlocks the second, and once you've answered it, unlocks the third. But if you don't want that at all, go from guided mode to adventure mode, and what happens now is it just asks you for the user flag and the root flag and nothing else. And that's absolutely awesome, honestly. So you may notice that the first time this took a couple of minutes to start up, this time it's taken 4 minutes, and that's because it's totally reversed it from scratch. This is the IP address. I think you can just double click for copy, which is really nice. And we can quite literally nmap stv and then do that. And there's every chance that it'll say that the system's down. Whoops, lowercase s. Yeah, so if the host seems down, what's happening is the system is still, although the box is live, all the services on it are still starting up, and that could take a few minutes. So just be patient. Try again. So it takes about 3.5 seconds to basically say, no, it's still not up yet. Okay, if you think that it should be up and it really isn't, you can try using this PN flag. But I think if we keep trying, it will sort itself out once all the services have started. I'll give it another 30 seconds or so. Okay, I have a feeling that it really should have been started by now. So maybe it's just not responding to ping. So I will try using the -pn and see what happens. Whilst we're doing that, we can see from our connection here. Oh, I was going to say we can see our IP address, but we can also just do it this way, ifconfig. And we have this 10.10.10.10.14.9. That is my IP address on the TryHackMe network. I'm not sure how you can find that here. It might be here. I'm not sure how you can find it here, but there is a way. So you'll notice that this has ton 0. But TryHackMe also had ton 0. If you do them both at once, you'll have ton 0 and ton 1. So they'll just give themselves new identities or whatever. So okay, so PN was the way. If I do it without the PN, will it work? No. Okay, so this particular system was up, but it's blocking ping. Ping is where you just see if a system's alive. And if I try ping on this system, 10.10.10.3, and it just show that it's up. So I don't know what it's talking about, to be fair. Okay, so we've got 4 ports open. I'm not doing this system now. I shall do it as my first system on Friday. When you're finished, be sure to kill your VPN. When you've done that, you'll see that this will die as well, in theory. And then I can leave this instance if I want. You can see as well that this instance is valid for 24 hours, and then you can extend it for 24 hours before it automatically resets. Automatically resets after a day of non-use, just because, well, if no one's used it in a day, no one's working on it, are there? So basically it's just reset for the next person. But I'm going to do that. Probably that should tell me that I'm offline now, which it does. So I think that's everything really. You've got a good starting point on HackTheBox. You've got a good starting point on TryHackMe. Both are for free unless you decide to sign up. One final thing. If you want to do what I'm doing and do videos or write-ups on some boxes, on TryHackMe it's free game. You can do whatever you wish. On HackTheBox you are only allowed to do write-ups or walkthroughs on boxes which are retired. Any active boxes are a no-go and they can get you banned. And also, I don't know if it's ever happened, but HackTheBox also mention in their terms of service legal action can be taken because it's their intellectual property and they've not given you permission to share it and things. So be really careful when doing that. What would I say? Best choice for a beginner, TryHackMe. Best choice for advanced, HackTheBox. If you can, go for both. Thank you so much, and be sure to go to Nethemba.com for all your pen testing needs. Goodbye.